Paris Street Rainy Day is a painting by French artist Gustave Caillebotte from 1877. Currently, it is on display at the Arts Institute of Chicago and is his most celebrated and analyzed work, which also includes Planing the Floor and the Rooftops of Paris series. Caillebotte is a product of the Impressionist movement of 19th century Europe, whose characteristics feature landscapes or scenes of modern life, with attention to atmosphere or movement, and the ephemeral effects of light. In this work, we see a captured moment on the streets of late 19th century Paris where a rainstorm has just ended. Newly constructed apartment buildings provide the background, while in the fore, pedestrians move randomly among the cobblestone streets. A formal analysis starts with scale. Here, Caillebotte went with a large canvas. Its dimensions measure approximately 7 feet by 10 feet. The positioning of the apartment in the background provides scale and depth in relation to the couple in the foreground and contributes to a heightened effect of perspective. The principle of diminishment is applied to the buildings and streets in the background, an important characteristic necessary for the illusion of depth perception. The couple in the foreground are almost to life-size scale, enabling a realism that invites the viewer to step inside the frame and wander around. Compositionally, it is asymmetrical yet stable and balanced. The entire frame can be cut into 4 quadrants. Line is repeated throughout the piece in both obvious and subtle manners. The lampposts in the foreground and the various umbrella handles make up the most obvious. In addition, the building facades feature lines. Not so obvious are the vectors of the streets. How they intersect provide lines of sight for the viewer to help with immersion into the scene. Repetition of shapes like the triangular umbrellas and rooftop chimneys, square cobblestones, and rectangular windows make up patterns that give a sense of movement and rhythm in concert with the suggested movement of the various city dwellers, captured mid-step. A cartwheel in the background is painted with a soft brushstroke to suggest movement blurring, as are the edges of people's clothing. The scene is reminiscent of the freeze frame from a motion picture. One can almost imagine the characters suddenly springing back to life. To capture the rain-washed mood, shades of yellow and lavender are incorporated in the sky to suggest a hint of sun behind the clouds. Between the cobblestones, a shimmering effect is applied to produce a pooling of rainwater effect. Movement is a main theme in this piece and how the classes of Paris move amongst each other, the randomness of lives intersecting much like the streets in a city that at the time was undergoing transformation due to the Industrial Revolution. Chapter 13 of Exploring Art, a Global Thematic Approach, focuses on the topic of class and art, and it shares common themes with the work La Grande Jatte by Georges Seurat. Both are from the Impressionist movement that focused their eye on a content middle class congregating with other social classes in a shared public space, not unified for a common purpose. Among Caillebotte's contemporaries were Claude Monet, Edgar Degas, the aforementioned Georges Seurat, Renoir, and Paul Cézanne. Caillebotte died at age 45 in 1894, but his Paris Street Rainy Day captures a frozen moment that is timeless.